Hello, survivors of this fourth-rate transformation, who have that fetish for common sense. Welcome to another great episode, to this not-so-humble video column, which in this case is the same as this recap of the damage. Today we are witnessing in real time how the supposed public morality they sold us is collapsing. What a surprise, who would have thought? Of course, we would have. No, there's no doubt that Mexican politics is looking more and more like a season of La Rosa de Guadalupe, but written by Kafka. Get ready for this mind-blowing journey to the heart of Morena's purity, which, curiously enough, reeks of rampant corruption. Let's get to it. 7 years. It's been 7 long years since that distant 2018, when they promised us that corruption would be swept away like stairs, from the top down. Believe it or not, they were right. The filth has risen so high it's up to their necks, and they're drowning. Today, you don't need to believe me. You don't need to listen to the so-called criminal journalism, or to Lorette, or to the Rocky, or to this not-so-humble servant who always told you this would end badly. No, gentlemen, today the best witnesses against them are themselves. The purest of honesty, of bravery, of not stealing, not lying, not betraying. They've decided to take off their masks. And guess what? Oh, surprise! It turns out that the 4T wasn't a movement of national redemption, but a nest of corruption, corrupt people, liars, hypocrites, and thieves. And the funniest part of all is, they're devouring each other. It turns out it wasn't about redemption, but a nest of corruption. Sharer, is he resentful, or maybe just disgusted with sharing the loot? As we've witnessed, he's dropped a bombshell that would make any movie villain turn pale. He accuses Ramirez Cuevas of financing himself through organized crime, but not just with any criminal, but through Sergio Cardenas. It turns out that it's not a place of redemption, but a nest of corruption involving pesos. A fund that supposedly López Obrador personally and publicly entrusted for the dismissed workers of the Mexican Electricians Union. And where did that money go? According to the accusation, it went straight to the political campaigns of Americo Villarreal. It turns out that no. When someone happens to ask about the whereabouts of a modest 27 billion pesos, the answer doesn't come in an Excel file or in an account statement, much less in an audit. Oh, surprise! It turns out that it's not. A nest of corruption, acts of extortion, while applauding the former president's brother. I mean, because according to his own words, by then it was already clear to him that he was a corrupt trafficker. Turns out that it was not a redemption, but a nest of corruption. Jesus has chosen something much more sublime. He has given us a manifesto of faith. Does he pull out the receipts, show the transfer slips? Of course not, that would be too vulgar. He responds with ideology. He wrote a piece worthy of being framed and hung on the wall of Presichacha's office. Every paragraph is a gem of Obradorist catechism. Where data isn't refuted, is the mess justified? Ramirez Cuevas' letter is not a legal document, but a soliloquy addressed to a base that no longer needs proof, only confirmation of its dogmas. With a solemnity that even Pope Jesus would envy, he claims in his text that he neither planted questions nor answers. Come on, Chucho. Someone give him an Oscar for that performance. Secondly, planting answers is impossible because that requires coherence. But the first thing, planting questions, hasn't that been his national sport for years? If not, just ask that idiot Lord Molecula or the other fool, Pancho Gutierrez, among other characters from the Mezuelas crowd. There we saw him coordinating his pack of trained reporters, who, like circus seals, acted as sidekicks in the Treasury Hall. So that the great leader could shine, Jesus didn't plant questions, he planted scenarios, setups, and distractions, while under the table, Scherer says that much less spiritual things were being cooked up. The proclamation reaches its climax in a confessional tone, worthy of a martyr for democracy. I confess that I have always fought for a better world. I confess that I am a person of the left who has worked with love for the homeland. Bravo. Close the investigation files, stop the presses. If Jesus has love for the homeland, the 27 billion surely turned into butterflies and flew towards social justice. The point isn't to claim virtue, but to highlight the arrogance of thinking self-declared virtue excuses you from accountability. In Ramirez Cuevas' ecosystem, belonging to the movement gives you a sort of heavenly shield. If you're on the left and claim to love the country, any suspicion of corruption is, by definition, metaphysical, a slander from the conservative reaction. Is holiness granted by decree? Just what the old man taught them, pissed on legs. But here comes the juiciest part. Don't miss the detail. This isn't an attack from the Partido Revolucionario Institucional y Acción Nacional, nor from the conservatives, nor from the traitors to the country. This is a bedroom quarrel at the heart of power. Julio Scherer Ibarra was the man with the keys, the one who knew every dark passage of the regime's legal structure. So for him to be the one throwing the darts, it turns this episode into a civil war of files. And in the face of the coldness of a file that talks about billions of pesos, a manifesto of faith written with revolutionary cheesiness ends up being, to put it mildly, less pathetic. That's reason enough to unleash a feast of hatred. Everyone against everyone. Because this isn't a fight between two people, this is an all-out brawl. Morena's unity is as real as the presidential plane raffle. Just take a look at the beautiful scene. The unbathable Gerardo Fernandez Noroña calling for Scherer to be jailed. Chucky's mom, Laida Sansores, pulling hair with Ricardo Monreal. Monreal fighting even with his own brother. And in the middle of this mess, Claudia Sheinbaum. Against everyone. No more. Watching the dishes fly. Trying to keep afloat a ship that has been taking on water from all sides for quite some time now. The most shameless thing about all of this is the timing. The perfect moment? I'm talking about Scherer and Jesus Ramirez. Do they not care about causing this crisis? Right now, when Sheinbaum is probably dealing with the worst problems she'll face during her term, she's getting hit with trouble like an August storm. Between obeying Trump and trying to dodge the blows aimed at the upper ranks of the Morena Mafia, as well as her boss, the jackass from Mac Hispana, the lady is so overwhelmed she can't see an end. So if that wasn't enough, these guys didn't give a damn, as they say in my hometown. They preferred to air their dirty laundry stained with blood, stolen gasoline, and public money, rather than keep up appearances. It was only a matter of time. And you know what? This is just the beginning. Wait until the 27th. Oh, it's going to get better. There you have it. The ones who were supposed to be different turned out to be experts. But in political cannibalism, we told you from day one in 2018, power without scruples ends up devouring itself. Many called us exaggerated opportunists and many other things. What do you say now? We have brave honesty in all its splendor, a true gem of national politics where the heroes are the villains and the villains. Well, those are still the same as always. What we're seeing is not a high-level political debate. It's the collapse of a narrative that can no longer cover up its failure with adjectives or more lies. But anyway, that's how things are in this country, where corruption isn't punished, it's only purified with a confession of love for the homeland. Thanks for joining me on this journey through La Cuarta's sewer. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and above all, don't be fooled by the siren songs of those who today are accused of what we always knew they were. What do you think? Do you think love for the country pays the bills? Or should we just sit and wait for the next miracle of multiplying alternative facts? Let me know in the comments. See you on Monday, if there's still a country left by then. Have a great weekend. Remember that you can make your donations via PayPal. You can find the information in the comments section. Thanks to you, this channel stays active. It's very important to subscribe, like, and hit the bell to get notifications whenever there's new content. Thank you.